I don't know if I got it back yet, but let's get ready to rumble. I think I got a little bit of my voice back, but it's just what it is, guys. But let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys offseason. We do know without a shadow of a doubt, we really don't make offseason moves anyway. It's been, years and years. And I really think that this organization have a certain philosophy that they like to lean on, and they saying to themselves, we not gonna just fold up and we're gonna stick to our philosophy, we're gonna stick to our blueprint. This is how we're gonna win. We're gonna win with Jason Garrett. So everybody jump aboard to Jason Garrett. He's one of the better coaches that we had in a long time. He's really can count on one hand how many losing seasons he had. And to be honest, yes, you can do that. You know, he's been 8-8 type of guy, and then he had a 12-4 year, and then he had a 13-3 year. Of course, he had some blunders. So not trying to make a pass for Jason Garrett. It's just one of those things where when Jerry Jones fall in love with you, it is just one of the most job secure things that you can ever have. And even when he let you go, he'll still keep you within his wheelhouse, a la Barry Switzer. You know, so one can argue that Jason Garrett is a poor man's Barry Switzer. You know, neither here nor there. We have Jason Garrett. We have the, I guess we just have the continuity. If we can lean on one thing, we can say this with all our heart, mind, and soul, and that the fact that we have continuity. We have the rapport with the coaching staff. Although they've been shredded apart, ripped apart, we are reaching out. Chris Richards, we want to see what he can do. We want to see what he can bring out there. We also have that out there in the fray. We would never know. This is an even year, so Jason Garrett normally have a better year during an even time. Not to be so optimistic, but it is what it is, guys. So with that being said, now I did post a video about Odell Beckham. Now we do know the NFL has its way of picking and choosing who they should suspend, or picking and choosing who they should pry on and all this stuff. But 9 times out of 10, if the player do not have a star on the side of their helmet, then nothing really gonna happen. We understand that, and that's just what it is. Us being Cowboys fans, we don't want to say, hey, we want blood for blood. But what we are saying is that, hey, if you're going to do this for Ezekiel Elliott, then do it for everybody in the National Football League. Start investigating the Landrys of the world. Start investigating the Kareem Hunt, whatever his name is. It is time for Roger Goodell to just take a sit back, and just step back, man. That's what I really want to happen, but it will never happen. We understand that, you know. But Jerry Jones went on ahead, and I know I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get all this information to you guys. Jerry Jones paid his $2 million, right? He did that, and that's what I wanted. I wanted him to pay the $2 million, get that out of the fray, and understand that we may live to fight another fight, you know, or we may live to play another day, you know. Talk about the conspiracy, the theories out there where there's no hold call. There is a hold call on us, but there's no hold call against the opposition. It's so many things that can go into the mix when you're talking about the conspiracy aspect of things, right? But at the same time, what can we do to better our team? I'm thinking about this one player that played for the Seattle Seahawks, Earl Thomas. If we can find a way, guys, just listen to me. If Earl Thomas can find a way to get on his team, that's the one missing piece that we need to have. An explosive, rangy type of safety that can hawk the ball down, create turnovers, crash upfield, get to the quarterback, and also make plays. I love his skill set. I love his temperament that he can bring out there to the field. But if we still sit back and hold back and not make one move, I'd said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Look back at every team that won the Super Bowl in the last, we're going to just say 5 years. They made free agency acquisition. The free agency or the transitions of a trade, I can say that right. A trade can just elevate your team so much because you can have your core pieces in place, right? And we already know that the salary cap, the over the cap, the under the cap, that's a misnomer. You can always find ways to maneuver that thing, right? You can always move money around. I understand it. That's what we've been doing a lot, with the offensive line. We're moving money around. And one can say, well, Law, you know that we don't have no money. We've seen teams that's over the cap like the Eagles made moves. Now, of course, they cut some of their legs out from under their feet, but they managed to say, hey, I'm not going to coddle my player. They got rid of Torrey Smith. You see what I'm saying? Now you're seeing the psyche, the mindset of a team. That's how you got to be able to move things around. Now, if you don't do that, if you don't figure out a way to manipulate the cap or manipulate your roster really, but if you don't find a way to manipulate these things, then you will never have the ability to move your team up. We're gonna look at Seattle Seahawks, right? Defensive team, drafted real well, but they still made free agency moves to get this team to the place they wanted to be. I think they went and got Averill's a guy to be on the defensive line. They went and made certain moves. Marshawn Lynch. People fail to realize Marshawn Lynch wasn't a beast mode, wasn't a homegrown type of guy. These were moves that was made, calculated to put on the team to elevate the team. It was a calculated risk. You got to take the calculated risk. If you don't, you will still be in the same thing. Go back. I challenge anybody. Go back and watch the last 5 Super Bowl rings that was won. And there was 2 things that took place. Free agency moves or some type of trade acquisition. Something like that, right? So in order for the Cowboys to win in the National Football League, not just the regular season, we understand. It's so funny. It's so crazy to me because it's one of those things where in order for us to have a successful year, it's going to the playoff. That's crazy to me. In order for me personally, for us to have a successful year, is to getting beyond a playoff game. It's winning at least one playoff game or getting to the championship game. That's what makes the team a winner in my mind. If you just saying, okay, we made it to the playoff, yeah, we, nah, there's nothing. There's nothing at all to be proud of or to be happy about. My thing is, if you want to win, if you have the mindset to win and to push and elevate your team to the next level, you got to win on the next level when you get to the next level, not lay down. You guys know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, and I'm going to touch a little bit on Dez. A lot of people are so misinformed with my notion, my thought, my mind about Dez Bryant. Do you want to get rid of Dez Bryant? Are you a Dez gots to go guy or you a Dez gots to stay guy? So many people have that all mixed up in my mind. Reason why a lot of people get all into their feelings when you start talking about Dez, it's because they naturally were probably started to watch football 7 years ago. And they probably said, okay, this is the guy, this is the premier guy. And they probably never saw Michael Irvin play. They probably never saw the Jerry Rices of the world. They probably never saw a finesse receiver like a Andre Rison or about to say Jake Reed. Jake Reed was a bad guy. A Andre Reed guy. Or they probably didn't saw the development process of Terrell Owens. They probably never seen those type of things before. But when you're talking about Dez Bryant been Dez Bryant. He have not increased not 1 inch of his skill set since the time he started playing in the National Football League until now. You know what I'm saying? One thing I can say, Dez Bryant, he has become bigger, stronger, probably the IQ level of the football field was a zone read and what's not. He probably advanced well on that aspect of the game. But come on, guys. And I do know that a lot of people are going to say, well, Law, what are you talking about? What the hell do you think you know about football? Come on. I can go back and I can go look at film too, and I can bring in and curate a whole document series of Dez Bryant first and second year. So my thing is, and trust me, believe me, it took a while for Dez Bryant to get on page with Romo. Of course, everybody would say, well, look at the numbers. But Romo was a Romo. He was a gunslinger. He was a guy that can elevate any receiver stat. He made Laurent Robinson look like he can walk on water at times. He made Miles Austin old. Whenever Miles Austin go to his bank account, he need to just say, hey, here's $5, whatever money, whatever remuneration that Miles Austin have, he need to cut a percentage and just shift it over to Tony Romo. Tony Romo elevated Miles Austin's career. And people fail to realize how great really Tony Romo was. It's just one of those things where Tony Romo's health got in the way. Tony Romo sometimes made the risk at the wrong times, and it just happened. Sometimes people are snake bitten. Sometimes people broke too many mirrors in their lives. Sometimes people walked under the ladder. Sometimes people opened up an umbrella while they was inside the house. So maybe Tony Romo had that type of black cloud, black mystery roving around him. I don't know. But people fail to realize that Tony Romo can elevate a person's career, and it makes them look like, man, this guy's world class. But let me know when you guys check this out. Let me know how Laurent Robinson did when he went to another team. Let me know what even your guy Patrick Creighton did when he went to the Chargers. And we already know what happened to Miles Austin. Come on now. I'm not trying to make these things up, And then sometimes a receiver to a quarterback, they just don't gel. Look at the Roy Williams, the receiver. Roy Williams, a Pro Bowler receiver. When he went to Tony Romo, they just never could get on the same page. It just happened sometimes. Not calling Desmond Bryant Roy Williams. It is what it is. The thing is with Desmond Bryant, and I know I've been long-winded on this topic, is that this is year 3. And normally year 3 is the magical year for quarterback to receiver. Now, granted, and I mean granted, what do Dak Prescott need to improve on? Dak Prescott need to step up through his throws. Dak Prescott need to work on his back shoulder fades. Dak Prescott need to work on his pre-snap reads too as well. Dak Prescott got a ton, and I mean a ton of things to work on. Footwork, sloppy. Decision making when the pressure is on is pretty good. He's not probably like top 4, top 3 against the blitz last year. And tight window throws, he was good on that aspect. But Dak Prescott, run pass option quarterback, his best friend is Ezekiel Elliott. We need Ezekiel Elliott to play every single game that Dak Prescott is in. And as far as according to this draft, we don't need to sit on our hands. We need to figure out too as well what type of running back we can get in the draft. I don't have a Ezekiel Elliott, switching over to Ezekiel Elliott. My thing is with Ezekiel Elliott will be the fact that Ezekiel Elliott is one of those guys that at night you're always checking your phones, you're always worried, you'll make your whole face, your hair and all that turn, your face wrinkle, your hair turn gray. Ezekiel Elliott, you could never go to bed, sleep happily. That's just the thing is with Ezekiel Elliott. That would never happen because you just know. So, but what I'm saying is, if you've been scouting a running back, maybe in the late third or fourth round, if it's somebody that for sure that can fit your system, that can fit in between Ezekiel Elliott, Rod Smith, and then that running back that will keep the continuity going. We know that reliable, not going nowhere. I'm not even going to touch on Jason Witten. We understand that. He's a statue out there. He's the liberty of the actual football team. He is he's kind of like the Mona Lisa painting of the Cowboys. He's not going to be moved. He's not going to be touched. He's one of those guys that even Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones themselves and Coach Jason Garrett says, we love him, and they not going to parade him off the field. And the thing is, rightfully so, he never get injured. So I used to always say, if Sean Lee can have his type of healing mechanism, oh my God, Sean Lee would be in the Hall of Fame before he even retired. They'd make a special award for him. They'd say, hey, Hall of Fame right now. But at the same time, that's neither here nor there. That's all I have for this day, this Saturday. But I thank everybody for wishing me back to health. And, I always try to give you guys all the Cowboys news that I can. Now, if you like the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to be part of the notification squad, don't forget to rub the bell down below. And you guys know how this goes, guys. That's been my time. I really thank you guys for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace.